USA.
Is that legal?
I will make it legal.
Where do you get this bureaucratic bull?
You have all the character references of a politician.
Intelligence has nothing to do with politics.
This president is not above the law.
If the dirty air don't get you, the politicians will.
The last remnants of the old republic have been swept away.
These orders have forced us to declare independence.
This is Grounds of Expediency Live. I am your host, Tim. I am the culture war realist, rational individualist. I'm the no compromise anti-communist. I'm the hierarchy dominator. I cite history with validity. I've got the hot takes for the bot fakes, and most importantly, I am never a victim. Welcome, guys. It's our weekly political stream. Weekly at this point. And for Wednesdays, we've been going consistently for weeks on end now. So I'm delivering on the promise. It's hard to do, but we go out of our way to please the audience. So here we are live with lots to talk about, lots of fun to be had. Share the link on all platforms. Hit the like button, please, and chat it up tonight. We're going to have a great time. Got some stuff to talk about. Got the guests coming in. First, let's go ahead and greet the chat. Always an active chat before we go live any night. Showing up first, we got Darth Paz saying howdy, because guess what, guys? We say howdy here. Trump's cabinet is okay right now. I like Elon, and Vivek and RFK will probably be announced soon. But then you have people like Rubio. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We know Greg has some thoughts on that. Justin, the Star Wars Marvel purist in the house, reminding everyone, like I did, to hit that like button. Make lightsabers in America again. Tehillim 29's in the house. We got Jordan, Star Wars EU absolutist, using the custom emojis. If you want to use those, then join the channel at any level. Gabriel Knight in the house. Can't handle all the winning this week. Euphoric overdrive, too much winning. Yeah, and it's, I don't know, it's like somebody said this, like the food is already starting to taste better. Hard to disagree with that. Scourge in the house saying howdy spacers. Great, good, iffy cabinet picks. Lara Trump as a Florida senator. Bob Casey trying to steal the PA Senate race with illegal ballots. MSM, that's mainstream media outlet ratings plummeting. And how can they plummet? You know, they're already low. Crazy. Mlah. Is that what you call that? Mlah. Biden NSA is targeting you. Yeah, they're not supposed to do any surveillance domestically either. There's the donation link. Go ahead and click on that and bypass Google's cut and send the money 100% to me. Got to get some new software. It's time to move on to editing software. Something new. So help me build the funds. Need to get a new PC. December will be 4 years for this one. It's not in bad shape, but it's time to upgrade. Mike's disappointed, not surprised. Rick Scott was the first one voted out. Gates' appointment unexpected. Have a hard time seeing him get the votes. Murkowski and Collins have already said no. 2 more, and he's done. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Saw a great meme today. It wasn't the typical one. It was a different one of Ben Affleck smoking. When I say the typical one, I think you know which one I'm talking about. And it said liberals realizing that we're only like a few weeks in and the inauguration hasn't even started yet. Rub the salt in the wounds. J.I. Acup was given a saber from one of Theory's competitors. Does it vibrate? That's my only question. Yeah. Nuisance Bird is in the house saying, Caca! We got Gabriel Knight with 5 USA memberships gifted. Let's see who they are. Jarek. We've got Johnny Oliver II. Forgotten Prime. S. Morgan. And Telos Gatekeeper, all now members of United Spacers Alliance. We got to play something for that.
I don't know what to do. I can't make decisions. I'm a president.
Thank you very much. As always, super member Gabriel Knight. And now we have 5 new people as members of the channel, which is awesome. All right. Yeah, great villain, right? From Dark Forces. Mike likes tacos in the house. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. We all love tacos. Longtime member at this point. Mike's been around since like 2021, I think. One Man Show is here for a live stream and not a after the fact comment. Thanks for being here. But yeah, guys, share the link out there on all platforms. Lots of people are streaming. So we need to make sure we get the word out there. The Grounds of Expediency streams have been doing well. We picked up on an algorithm last week, have over 1,000 views. So we need to keep on doing that. We need to grow the political discussions because we have something to say here. Neo Valentine's in the house. We have something to say here. In fact, I can go back and look at this really quick. Go to my YouTube channel. Go to past live streams. Go to week. 1.1 thousand views, by the way. Jarek himself said, I didn't expect to hear one of the most honest and straightforward discussions on politics from a Star Wars channel. It's not really a Star Wars channel, but I get where you're going with that. Refreshing to hear from people who actually understand the political system as it is and don't bullshit when calling out those on our own side, too. He must have heard us say that, right? Our side, as we always talk about that stuff. No, but that's a compliment when you can come here and get a little bit more of a nuanced an intellectual discussion around politics than you can in most other places. And that's why I built the team that I have. But here's what I want to talk about right out of the gate, guys. Like, it's really just sinking in, right? Because last Wednesday was kind of, we're still in the euphoric mode. And it's sinking in, like, what really happened here. And I think I made a post along these lines on X the next morning or that night/morning before I even went to bed. And you could pretty much say that partially Elon Musk helped save America with his, I guess, I don't want to say a political 180, but he's never been as apparently and by his actions as conservative as he is now, right? I'm not saying he was ever necessarily a left-wing nut job, but he's never displayed the level of commitment to conservatism as he has over the last, let's say, 18 months, right? And I think the acquisition of X definitely garnered the idea of free speech, not just in America, but across the world. It tells you something when it's banned in certain countries. And we're not talking about your traditional third world shitholes either with their tin pot dictators. We're talking about pretty large nations, right? And then his campaigning, direct campaigning for the president-elect and former president, Donald Trump. So we won in a landslide victory, right? And just think about the implications of that, guys. It's not just, yay, our side won, whatever. Think about the things that we're averting, the things that we've been saved from. The mutilation of children in the name of political correctness and just an insane movement that was started by who knows who at some point over the last 5 years. Started from the slippery slope during the Obama administration. And yes, there is a slippery slope. We were saved from that. The mutilation of children is going to stop. The psychological abuse of children is going to stop. What else? Illegals flowing in from the border and all the troubles that causes. Terrorism, street gangs across America, rapes, murders. They're leeches upon society. They affect elections, housing prices. Do you understand that the current administration was permissive of all that flowing in from the border? That has been stopped. It will be stopped. Unending wars. Everyone was skeptical leading up to the 2016 election. Like, what would Donald Trump be like as president of the free world, as leader of the free world and his foreign policy? Oh, I'm a deal maker. I'll do this and that. Was he 100% effective? No. But pretty damn high percentage effective in talking to people and preventing escalation. Not being afraid to talk to people and then being called a traitor and all kinds of other names because he was talking to people, while these same people supported the airdropping of who knows how much money to nations like Iran. Unending wars. They're going to be stopped. Guns rights. Yes, there was the bump stock ban. But what do we do when we vote people in? We go for somebody who has the most promises, stances, and whose ideology most closely aligns with our own, right? Who else were you going to vote for? Like the Constitution Party candidate, the Libertarian Party candidate? I mean, come on. They had no chance of winning. You have to vote for the person that has a chance of winning. And when it comes to guns rights, it was Kamala Harris or it was Donald Trump. Which one do you think is going to better preserve guns rights? The answer is clear. Let's talk about free speech. I kind of already did around Elon Musk. You had Hillary out there a couple of weeks ago calling for the censoring and regulation of social media because, the truth is getting out and they don't like that. Free speech has been saved, guys. Not only the Second Amendment, but the First Amendment has been saved. Energy. Drill, baby, drill. Keystone Pipeline, start it back up. I got gas a few days ago, and yeah, I got a 10% discount, but I paid $2.36 a gallon. Need to buy an oven, right? Oh, you got to buy this oven only. It can't use more than this. Got to buy a washing machine that won't wash my clothes. A dishwasher that will leave a bunch of gunk and grease on my dishes. You're not allowed to have a gas stove. It's all done away with. There are other ways to protect the environment other than curtailing our rights and our freedom to choose what we want to buy. There are ways to bring gas prices down, to be self-sufficient. What about this one? What about forced relocation? And you can laugh at me and point and say, ha ha, tinfoiler. I'll tell you guys something right now. Back in 2004, 2005, I was telling people that the stuff that happened in the Summer of Love would be happening, like riots in the streets and just chaos at some point due to political upheaval. You're a tinfoiler. Well, guess what had happened? And you can see the forced relocation coming. Like there are radio ads. You need to move into the city. It's better there. There's clean water and services and all this stuff. Hey, you have to buy an electric car. What do you think that's about? What if you live, and this is a realistic scenario, what if you live just over an hour away from civilization? Got to go get groceries, supplies, whatever. You have an electric vehicle. Are you going to be able to make it? They want to limit your travel. They want to move you into the city. They want to herd you in, right? We got to stop urban sprawl. More curtailing of rights. All that stuff is gone. It's thrown out, guys. Like, you don't understand that America, for now, has been saved. That's how important that election was. That's why it's a celebration, not because, oh, my guy won. Yeah. It's not a football game. It's not a tribalism thing. It's about, thank God, for at least a little while longer, America is going to be what it should be. And maybe even reverse course a little bit and change some things that have changed for the worse back to the way that they should be. America was saved. People saw what was going on out there. And radio shows, television commentators, YouTubers, everyone exposing this. When you have a baby sniffing president who can't even form a coherent sentence or thought, falling asleep during debates, falling off of bicycles. And it wasn't just the fact that it was happening. It's the fact that they tried to portray it as nothing was going wrong there. And it was, obviously. Nothing's going wrong here. Everything's okay. He's of sound mind and he's a good president. And then everyone's like, wait a minute. What I'm seeing and what I'm being told do not align. And they knew it was all a lie. And that's when the power of the Democrats started to fade. And then they rolled on the bimbo, right? Let's roll her out there as candidate. She's a good candidate and she's this and that. And people are like, wait a minute. I've heard her talk. Hey, maybe I'm one of those true swing voters, or, maybe I'm a lifelong Democrat and I'm thinking of doing something else, something like that. And then they see her worse than John Kerry as a candidate. Just horrible, worse than Howard Dean. And again, they're being told she's brilliant. They're being told that she did all this stuff in California. And no, none of that ever happened. So people were tired of being lied to. Anyone who even considered voting for her were starting to think twice. People saw what was going on, and then I think it woke them up. Oh, I just said woke. Wow. Isn't that something? It woke them up, guys, to what was going on in this country with the fundamental changes that Obama talked about 15 years ago, 16 years ago, whatever it was at this point. We're going to fundamentally change the country. Well, guess what? We didn't want fundamental change because we know what you're talking about. Those of the people out there that didn't know, they figured it out pretty quick. After 8 years of Obama, after 4 years of Biden, they figured out what fundamental change meant. It's code word for we're going to become more like Europe, more like socialist Europe. And I think it took a little bit of time, but eventually Americans from all walks of life, from all political backgrounds said, this isn't me. This isn't America. And then, oh man, Trump's a racist and Trump's just a rich guy and all this stuff. It's like, wait a minute. Trump's, he's kind of cool. And he's not racist. He's just telling the truth and he's not afraid to speak his mind. And gosh, from 2016 to 2020, up until COVID anyway, things were so much better. I'm going to vote this way. So let's hope that this is the reawakening that it should be. Because I think, honestly, that Biden/Harris campaign, I think it really showed people that they're the smoke and mirrors ideology. And then people started looking into other stuff too, like this is all a sham. They're leading us down the primrose path toward collectivism and the taking away of our freedoms. And people voted against that. And it wasn't a case of, we're just voting against something. They were also voting for something, again, because the president-elect has a track record he can run on. Again, is it perfect? No. But it was heading in the right direction for sure. Up until COVID, like I said. We saved America, guys. And it just started sinking in over the last, 3 days with me. Like, wait a minute, like this really happened. And there seems to be a pendulum shift. And I know that's a cliche, but I really think there is a pendulum shift and we're going to head in the right direction. Let's see what you guys are saying. But first, Jim tells you 3 months of membership, join the Alliance to Defend America. Yeah, there's another alliance, the ADA, Alliance to Defend America. We're always creating alliances, aren't we? Yeah. Obama was patient zero. It was actually Clinton. I've talked about this. Clinton, during his presidency, initiated a lot of the woke policies, and it all starts with fiduciary duty of companies. And the way that the woke movement, the DEI stuff, before it was even called that, the way that it got traction is companies supported it and they pushed it out there. Well, why would they do that? Because they had that investment money, right? And these firms like whatever BlackRock said, we're only going to invest this money if you do these things. You invest in sustainability, environmental, social, and governance, right? ESG. Wait a minute. These companies are publicly traded companies with a fiduciary duty to their shareholders to make money, to make a profit. Oh, that's okay. We'll ease the laws on that in the name of responsibility. And those were expanded by the power of the pen under Obama. A lot of people don't know that, but that's where it started from. It was the relaxation of the duty of public companies to invest money in a profitable way. Instead, let's just spend money on all this crap, diversity hires and environmental projects that will go nowhere, training on diversity and bullshit like that. I don't think it's over yet, but I think again, people are waking up to that, no pun intended, and I think that will be part of the pendulum shift. We'll see what happens. Let's see. DVS Lord's in the house. Up. We got Soul Assassin, the mod, in the house. Thanks for being here, Soul Assassin. Who are you talking about? Biden? Biden wipes his own ass?
What?
That'll never get old. Melissa Lord's in the house. First ever member at a channel. Brah! That was good stuff. The Scream is what they called it. It had all kinds of memes. That was like really before the what I'd call the meme era. Memes existed, but they just weren't like they are now. No, but thanks for listening to that, guys. Like I said, we really did save America here, and we can't lose the momentum. Oh, you got to reach across the aisle. Okay, maybe you can do some of that. But at the same time, don't trust them. Actually drain the swamp this time. And put safeguards in place to never allow some of these people to be in power again. And you don't have to feel bad about it. Like, oh no, we're not being fair politically. Well, here's the thing. We have a set of rules in the USA. It's called the Constitution. And anytime you try to undermine that, you're breaking the rules, right? It's not, oh, we got to listen to the other side. We have to listen to their anti-Constitution viewpoint. No, we don't. Play within the rules of the Constitution or be revoked of your citizenship. Be stripped of your citizenship. Play by the rules of the Constitution or you're out. That's the litmus test. It's not, oh, we got to listen to all sides and all this hippy dippy shit. No. Don't reach across the aisle to people who are just waiting it out. There is an Islamic concept called a hudna. It's been exercised many, many times by Palestinians. We're going to call for a ceasefire, right? And what they do is it's really a chance to lick your wounds and get ready to strike back. It could be a year, 2 years, it could be 5 years. That's what the Democrats are going to try to do right now. Oh, we want to reach across the aisle and all this. Do not trust. Rub salt in the wounds, put them in their place, and stay on the attack. And let's safeguard America from ever letting it fall into the state it has been over the last 4 years. And then, I'd say from 2009 to 2015. Never let that shit happen again. When you have an unqualified junior senator from Illinois becoming president, talking all this shit about fundamentally changing America, we can never let that happen again. That's what we should be pushing the president-elect and the new Congress to do. Put some safeguards in place and let's preserve America for what it is and what it should be. If you're against the Constitution, you're a traitor. Yeah, that's why all the oaths and stuff are to the Constitution. It's not to the flag. It's not to the president. It's to the Constitution. No other countries have a constitution like ours. Like, the Magna Carta, whatever. It was an inspiration. Yeah, but wasn't a legal document. It isn't relevant anymore. Oh, there's a constitution in this country. Yeah, it doesn't do shit. It doesn't guarantee anything. The Constitution is used to interpret law and apply it to specific cases. And it's worked for 230 years. 250 years at this point. Hopefully low propensity voters who voted red last week do not ever sink back into apathy and inaction ever again. Yeah. Agree with that. Carlos Garcia is here. Yeah, it can, because there are certain things you can't amend. And not only that, but try amending it now. Try amending the Bill of Rights. It's virtually impossible. Thanks for being here, Carlos Garcia. Yeah, salt of the earth. All right. We got someone in back. Let's go ahead and bring them on in.
We don't serve their kind here.
And we have with us the Grand High Priest, Holy Order of Hate, Greg.
Good evening. The Holy Order of Hate. Yes, that's any of our detractors or leftists are going to love that. And be like, see, it's a hate show, hate speech.
Detractors, you say?
Mm-hmm. I do say.
Nice. You need to get that Gregorian chant fixed up again.
I'll see what I can do.
And there's a new custom emoji. There it is. We got rid of the Tuscan hand. We now have Greg hates everything. Custom emoji. Yes.
Oh, maybe,
so
is it this one? Nope. I'll find it eventually.
So, what did you think of that? I was driving to work the other day and I'm like, okay, so the election was won and it's, not just, okay, another 4 years of a president, it's like, wait a minute, this is pretty significant here because if it had gone the other way, imagine what America would look like in 2028.
Well, and here's the thing that has me most concerned. Like, I'm not ready to be like, hey, yes, we won a victory in this moment, but we need to still build that victory. Because the second that we lose control, they'll pass statehood for Puerto Rico and DC, stack the Supreme Court, and do all sorts of other shenanigans. So, because they've talked openly about it, so they will do it first chance they get. So we got to just keep winning.
That's what I mean. Like, you need to put some safeguards in place.
Unfortunately, with the Supreme Court, there really is only one way to safeguard that, and that is through an amendment.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be necessary because, like, it's such a stupid policy to pursue because it's just absolutely short-term thinking. Because as soon as the other side gets the chance, they're just going to stack the court the other direction. And, like, 50 years from now, we'll have a Supreme Court with like 190 fucking judges on it or something, because everybody keeps adding some. It's just dumb.
Yeah. And, here's the thing about the electorate. I hate to say this, but in general, voters tend to be stupid. So what'll happen is, like, let's say we have a great economy for 2.5 years, right? And then, kind of like with COVID, what if some kind of event happens where it's not so great toward the end of Trump's second presidency? Well, we need someone else in there. Let's vote the other way. That's why, like, I've said this for years now, but that's why the electorate is too broad. You need people voting who know what they're voting for, that are not low information voters. And let's just be honest, most people are, because they're going to vote along party lines or what someone standing next to them told them about a particular party. That's the scary part about the election process in America. That you pretty much have to be 18 and have a warm body, sometimes not, to be able to vote.
Well, that has been the design of, progressive strategy for the last 100 years. I would just, my advice to Republicans, conservatives, and people who are happy and like, yay, we won. You're like, you've got to think long term, and you have to think incremental.
Yeah.
Because you do not want the pendulum to snap back at you.
Yep.
Because I remember, like, and people have short memories, but like, okay, Bush won in 2000. Like or hate Bush and Iraq War and all that other stuff. He won in 2000, won re-election in 2004. They had the Senate. Boom. Fiscal crisis hits. Obama gets into office with like a 59 or 60 seat Senate and a majority in the House. Like, he had filibuster proof numbers. And look at what he did. And now it's undoable. You can't undo it. Because it's another entitlement program that, it's almost nearly impossible to take away. Because even if you trim it around the edges, it's like, well, you're getting rid of protections for people with pre-existing diseases. Right?
Yep. Anyway, it really sunk in, like I said, that, man, not only did we save America, but we did it with an exclamation point. Like, we're standing against this. Just willy-nilly. Hey, yeah, it's great. Let's have men compete against women in sports. Let's mutilate children. Let's do all this stuff. And like, wait a minute. What are we doing here? I think that was like a collective wake-up call from America. in this election. And I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to say this because it sounds cheesy, but it kind of makes you proud, that the majority finally stood up and said, no, we're standing against this. We need something better.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a slam dunk. So, like, I'm not going to give people a whole lot of credit for that. But, like, nothing is perfect. Yes, exactly. Which means, like, you didn't get the Senate majority leader you wanted. Let's not all start saying everybody in the Senate's a cuck.
Mm-hmm.
Which is stuff I'm already seeing online because Thune got the majority, Senate majority leader position, and instead of mega country wanted Rick Scott. Now I like Rick Scott. I think he would have been a better pick, as well. He would have gotten my vote, but Thune is not exactly a liberal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's pretty damn conservative, and like I don't see any evidence that he's going to like not pass the Trump agenda in any way. Like I haven't seen him out there saying like, "Oh yeah, no, we're going to leave the borders open." And yeah, you can not like McConnell. I don't like McConnell. I think McConnell cost Wisconsin and Michigan their seats the way he ran his pack. And Thune might do the same thing, but we will never know. And there comes to a point where when you're in the Senate, you can't always get what you want. You have to work with what you have. And it's like when the Republicans don't have a majority and they don't have the White House and they have the slimmest of slim majority in the House, like, yes, you're going to have to live with really bad continuing resolution bills. That's just because you're not going to shut down the government unless you like losing elections. It may be like, yes, I would prefer that we fight with the bat, go all in on the budget battle and take it to them and shut down the government, shut it all down. Woohoo! Yay! But you're not going to win the election that way. Time and time again has proven that the American people don't respond well to the government being shut down for extended periods of time. They just don't. And it is what it is. It's unfair. It's crappy. But like, yes, you're going to have to live with some really crappy funding bills that you don't 100% agree with. That's just the reality of politics. If you don't understand that, you just don't understand politics, I guess.
Yeah.
You think McConnell did that to deliberately cost Wisconsin and Michigan seats? Why would he do that? I guess it meant like I'm willing to, I'm okay, but what would the strategy be?
Yeah.
I guess absent proof, I would at least need a motivation.
Yeah.
I think Thune is going to be fine in his seat. I don't think he's going to be like a major, thorn in the side of the Trump agenda. As far as down the road, down the line on issues, I think he's going to vote with Trump on them. So, but you see, especially on Twitter, there's a lot of people that will be like, "This is a betrayal of MAGA." Okay.
Yeah, I know some people in 2016 that stayed home because they couldn't vote for Trump and did the same thing this time around. Like, okay, so did you vote for Romney? Did you vote for Bush? Like, who did you vote for that was 100% aligned with you and your issues and your ideology? Who did you ever vote that was 100% aligned? No one. You didn't do it because you're shithead, cocktail party friends didn't want you to vote for Trump. That's what it was. Like you're too embarrassed to admit. And those are the people like in the polls that we talk about. That's why a few of the sneaky pollsters would call and say, who is your neighbor going to vote for? Not you, because it's like you're embarrassed to admit who you're going to vote for. And these people are spineless. It's not like, I'm voting for Trump, and guess what? I'm now a member of the Church of Trump. It's like, no, you're voting, right? Maybe from your perspective, it's the lesser of two evils. But that's why you're voting that way. And I've been making that point for like almost 10 years now, that voting in elections, any election, isn't about finding the perfect candidate. It's about voting for the one that most aligns with what you want.
Yep. And as far as McCarthy and Susan Collins is concerned, depends on the bill. Like, I think you put a bill in front of them about no taxation on overtime rules, I think they're going to vote for it. I think they're going to vote for a lot of other things. They might put up a stink about a couple of the nominees for positions, and it'll be tighter votes, but that's just them voting their preferences, and I'm not going to worry about it, because, like, look, there's a lot of time where the Senate was in the balance by 1 or 2 votes, and those two didn't jump ship. They stayed with the party. Now, I would prefer that they be replaced with rock rib ultra mega, super Republicans as well, but
Super Republicans.
Like I don't think, like, let's not throw them out of the party here. They're the ones that are gonna get all of our guys that we do want control of the committees, control of the floor of the Senate, what gets brought to the floor, what doesn't get brought to the floor. Like, these are major. Having the majority is a major advantage, because if you're not in the majority, you don't even get your amendments to the floor. You don't even get your bills to the floor. They just don't ever get voted on. They just die.
Yeah.
And if they're going to keep the party in power there, then, good. And we'll just have to work with them on the edges of some of the other stuff. By the way, I think a number of the issues they're going to be fine with. Like, would they, and the other stuff that they theoretically wouldn't be fine with, like a nationwide abortion ban, like, Trump is not pursuing that anyway. So it's fine.
Well, let's look at some of these nominations.
There's been a longstanding tradition in the Senate to vote absent a national security or like a gross issue. It's been common courtesy to push through the nominees of the sitting president. And it wasn't until Joseph cocksucking brain dead piece of shit Biden started blocking Reagan and Bush's nominees that changed. So, and that you have to go all the way back to like the Thomas nominations and Justice Bork. Then it became much more partisan. Same with other appointees, cabinet positions and whatnot.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of these nominations, starting with Tulsi Gabbard as DNI.
Yeah. Pass.
Yeah, I mean, that's
not a fan of that one.
I mean, to say that's a key position would be an understatement, and to say that's a position that you have to have somebody extremely trustworthy in would also be an understatement. Who knows? Could do the best job ever, but golly, we're going to take a recently turned to Republican, probably because this was promised, right?
Yeah.
Along with other stuff, and then install her as Director of National Intelligence Yeah. I just don't know.
Yeah,
What do you
I'm not
think
crazy about that.
what do you think about qualifications though? Partisanship and fears of trustworthiness aside.
I don't think qualifications wise, I don't service, sure. That isn't a prerequisite in my mind though. Ability to lead a large group of people prioritizing multitask. That's what you're doing as a director of national intelligence.
Yep.
You're not out there doing all the spying yourself. You're allocating resources. You're consolidating the information. You're prioritizing the information, what to present to the president, what should be on the top of his daily reports. I don't know that she's had a position where that has been something that she's practiced. And something, because you gotta remember, like, just being like tough talking and good on camera and things like that does not mean you're going to be a good runner of a department. You're running a department, basically, director of national intelligence. You're directing. But we'll see. I mean, I think it's an improvement over what we currently have. So I guess there's that. I wouldn't have personally. I would not have picked her for that position.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Like, I'm not going to be like, it's the end of the world, though. You know what I mean? That's just one of those where, like, I guess I'm willing to wait and see on that one. But, like, I think that one would be one if I'm a senator. I'd be like, let's make sure your number 2 is ready to go. Being on the House Intelligence Committee, like, I think history has proven that to be a member of the House, you have to lack intelligence. So, like, that is not a qualification. You're just sitting on a committee and, like, listen to congressional hearings. They're fucking idiots. Their staff does all their work. So, like, okay. Yes, you have information from that was brought to you as a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Cool. I mean, I guess that's something. Like I said, I'm not like, I would probably, like, if I were a senator, I would reluctantly give her the benefit of the doubt and approve. Like, if I were a senator, Senator Gregg would not approve the nomination.
Homeland Security Committee.
Okay, Homeland Security Committee.
So, let's see. Let's get into this because I know you're such a huge fan of Vivek. What do you think? What do you think of the Department of Government Efficiency?
It sounds like it sounds like a complete oxymoron. Like, it's really this one's going to really depend, because this sounds like yet another stupid blue ribbon task force that's going to issue a report that nothing happens with. Mm-hmm. So I'm less concerned about who's on it, and even what they're recommending versus, like, are they actually is it going to happen? Are they going to actually implement the suggestions that they make? And I find it curious because I don't think a person like Elon could probably stand to be around a person like Vivek. Elon's a doer. Vivek is a swarmy, greasy, used car salesman who likes to talk and likes to be on the camera. And I don't trust him one bit. It's just a gut feel with him. He seems slimy. He says a lot of what he reminds me very much of your prototypical YouTube grifter personality. Just says what the audience wants. He thinks what the audience wants to hear. Actually has no core values whatsoever and would switch on a dime. Like I could see him in 5 years being married to Mika Brzezinski and doing a MSNBC show.
Vivek Pasha.
Yeah. And as far as like Elon's just like, I can't put like, where's he gonna even have time to do any of this either? So it's great for the lulls and the memes and the intentions. I just don't have a whole lot of faith in it. But I would absolutely love to be proven wrong on that. Please, by all means, Vivek, show me that I'm wrong. Cut the fucking government. Do what you do.
Well, it has to, and maybe it does because I haven't looked into it, but it has to have some kind of self-terminating clause in its mission statement, right? That, hey, once these goals are reached, this department is dissolved, because otherwise, like, you're just adding more to government. And then, of course, that absolute cunt Elizabeth Warren went out there and said, "Oh, great, a Department of Government Efficiency. It's already working. There are 2 leaders of it."
Yeah, that's just really dumb considering
Not very good for optics.
A 100-member Senate that doesn't do anything.
It's like that episode of The Office. They are co-managers.
Yeah.
Not manager and co-manager, co-manager and co-manager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
so I don't know.
I want to say for the record, I was very down on Vivek before he appeared on FNT. But that is another strike against him.
Boom. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think it's an interesting concept, but it almost sounds like this Orwellian department a little bit. Like, we'll see what they come up with. Obviously, that can't be a department yet. So I assume this account that Elon created will be switched over to an official one once it becomes a thing.
Right. And even if they can still do their work, and it could never actually be an official department or official agency, that doesn't even matter. Because they're just basically advisory roles anyway. It's not like a cabinet position. It's not a department in the federal government.
Not yet.
Not yet, and I don't think it ever could or should be. But the thing is like, it's not that the government doesn't know that there's a whole bunch of really ridiculous, stupid overlap. It's that the government likes ridiculous, stupid overlap.
Mm-hmm.
The culture is designed for that. It employs more of them schmucks. And they're going to, and these schmucks have powerful friends who write the budgets. And if Congress budgets spending in a department, they're allocated, and the president signs the budget, it's going to get spent. That's just kind of the way it goes. So some of this stuff, like, you might be like, well, this is really, these 2 agencies do the same thing. Yep, by design. Because this senator over here likes this one, and that senator over there likes the other one. And you need their votes on some other critical issue, and you don't have a very big majority, so you make some deals. That's just how it works. So we'll see. It's not like the government, it's not like you need some massive investigation to discover ridiculous spending and horrible overlap in the federal government. It's plainly obvious where it is. It's the will to do anything about it. That's been the problem. So if that committee is simply just to point it out and make a list of it, cool, but not useful. So
yeah, and there's certain stuff that the executive can do to cut some of that back, spending and resources, and maybe he'll do it. I don't know, but he's promised he would, so we'll see if he delivers.
But then the next president can put it all back this
Yep.
via the same way. So like
Unless
that's not a lasting change.
unless legislation is passed to accompany the changes eventually before the end of the presidency. We'll see.
Yeah, that's the necessary step. That's what has to happen.
We got someone in the back here. From Sydney, Australia, weighing in tonight at 302 pounds, Liquid Blake.
The super heavyweight has arrived.
Yes, super duper heavyweight.
I'm earthquake and typhoon rolled into one. I am the natural disasters.
Great reference there. By the way, Friday night, Tyson Paul. Yeah. My wife's like, we're watching it, and FYI for anyone listening, the spacing will be like at 2:30 Central on Friday. I'm off work, and she wants to watch that, so we're going to do an early spacing and then watch some fights. And I told you guys this before, but my wife actually trained about 25 years ago to be a boxer, and before the first match kind of said, nah, I'm not going to do that. So she's really into that sport, so it should be good. At least it's a spectacle. It's a Japanese style freak fight. They do this kind of stuff in Japan all the time. So
it's Muhammad Ali.
I hope it's like a 5-second nothing burger, and Tyson just completely severs the head of that piece of shit Paul in like 5 seconds.
You'd love to see
and then,
I'm Mike Tyson.
And then stands over his stumpy corpse and pisses on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beats it like Robin. Yep.
I don't see him winning, but I hope Tyson can at least knock him down.
Why don't you see him winning?
I don't think.
Welcome to Fight Talk, everyone. No,
I don't think he's going to be fast enough to keep up with him.
Okay.
For the whole fight, maybe like the first couple of rounds, but after that, I mean, he's 58 and he hasn't fought properly in decades. And even when he was at the end of his career, he didn't look great. I know he's dedicated himself to training and stuff for this, but you can't beat Father Time. It's like the other one in the UFC. They got John Jones is fighting Stipe Miocic. Like two people haven't fought in years, and one of them's over 40. So there's just the fight game at the moment is Japanese freak fights at the moment.
Yeah. Let's see if I love testing Greg's, nerd knowledge and or lack thereof. Do you even get this reference, Greg? From Melissa Lord, beats him like he's Jason Todd.
Yeah, that's one of Batman's little ass toys, right?
Oh, jeez.
Jason Todd is the one that Batman butt fucked.
Well, was it just one of them? Didn't they all come out?
And Joker righteously removed him from this earth.
Yeah, didn't all the Robins come out like members of the families against Michael Jackson?
Joker with the crowbar.
I'm just glad Greg didn't say it was some Spider-Man reference, because I know he loves talking about Spider-Man all the time. So I was just glad he didn't bring that up.
The weirdos are out there, Blue-Eyed Scorpio. Trust me.
Yeah, and you're one of them, Hank. You are one of the weirdos, Hank.
We could have our own Department of Government Efficiency and make a list, to Greg's point. But what are you really going to do? Are you going to get these guys together with some of the key committee personnel? Are you going to win votes in the House to pass some bills? Like, what are you going to do? That's what I'm most interested in seeing, not just like a meme X account and a bunch of hype. Like, really, what are you going to do? I'm interested in watching that and seeing what happens. So
It's going to be a fun 4 years.
in the house, we have Steezo for life with us.
To be fair, purist, everybody is better than Spider-Man. So,
yeah.
Oh, he didn't say Spider-Man. He said Miles Morales.
No, Miles Morales is is a superior human being. He cried less than Peter Parker.
And he's black.
Well, I mean, he's not perfect.
Boom, there it is.
I will have to just debate that, Scorpio, because I think you're there already, Hank. Just kidding. So what's the when is the inauguration?
I don't know, around the 20th of January.
Yeah, 20th, I think.
So that'll be the next big.
That'll be the next big
eruption
riot
of meltdowns. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna see some shit that day. You're gonna see some of this.
Trump is now president of the United States. Mr. Trump, for the moment, steps away.
You'll definitely see some of that. All right. What about the big one? What about Matt Gaetz as AG?
Awful. Worst pick you could possibly fucking make.
Okay, hold on. Number one, why worst possible? Explain.
Because you need somebody in the Justice Department who is serious, because every single thing on Trump's agenda is going to get held up in the courts. There's gonna be lawsuits blocking every single move. And the reason we know this is because it happened in his first term. So every executive order is going to be a court battle. Every bill is going to be a court battle. Everything he does is going to be a court battle. You need a Justice Department that is serious and capable of providing a timely, robust, and forceful defense of the administration's actions, first and foremost. Second, it's the Justice Department. So you can't go in there with a guy that's like, I'm going to get rid of the ATF. And, libertarians, I get it. You hate the ATF, but like you ran on a Law and Order platform. Right. I get it. But you ran on a Law and Order platform. That's probably not the best move you want to make. You can dial back their authority, remove some of their regulatory autonomy, and put it back in the role of Congress where it ought to be in the first place. But it would be a very, very bad idea. Plus, Matt Gaetz is he's a self-absorbed, self-interested opportunist who is willing to humiliate his own party over a dispute with the majority leader in exchange for getting nothing. Because even if you didn't like McCarthy and you like what's his name who's in there now, what legislatively changed? What was the actual end result? Not a fucking thing. So he put his own party through 2 months of humiliating infighting in a super narrow majority House, causing some members to just fucking retire in exchange for no legislation, but his name in the news a whole lot. And that's all that Matt Gaetz cares about. He's a piece of shit opportunist. Worst pick you could possibly make. The only good thing I can say about it is typically once you become attorney general for Trump, your political career is completely over. You don't survive it. Like everybody who's ever worked for Trump in that department goes away and never comes back. So I guess that's good. And on a positive note, he's no longer in Congress. So that's good. I would have actually booted him out of the party. If the Republicans won just a few more seats, I would have removed him from all of his, just out of spite. I would have removed him from all of his committees and thrown him out of the party. I hate him that much. That pick has me furious. And that is one where if I were a senator, I would absolutely vote nay. No way. Give me, what is his qualifications to be attorney general?
I'm glad you asked. Are you ready?
Sure.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
Is it safe?
Okay, that's funny. That's funny. But that's not running a department. And attorney general is a very damn important position.
Well, thanks to Stizo for that. But let me ask you this. Why do you think he was picked as AG? Like, why? What was going through Trump's head when he picked him?
I saw the hair.
As an FU to all the people in the department that went after him under the Biden administration. That's it. He's throwing a grenade in there, which I get. I understand the want to do that. I really do. I just think if you want to pass your agenda and get shit done, and I think he does, that's not a good pick. That's not the guy that's going to do it.
Okay. Too much cholesterol. I don't know.
To be honest, I don't think he gets confirmed because I think there's a lot of Republicans in the Senate that were like pissed off at the House for all that shenanigans over the speakership. And Gates was 100,000% the person behind that.
Yeah, so Justin has a good question here. Like, if you don't like Gates, then who would you like?
Pablo Hidalgo.
No. I don't know. I guess I don't have a list of like big name attorneys at my disposal.
Nick Recato.
He would never take the position.
Oh, jeez.
I'd like a Ted Cruz. I think a Ted Cruz would probably be a pretty good attorney general.
Okay. Yep. Great minds think alike.
But I don't know. It doesn't have to be a senator either, though. It doesn't have to be a congressman. It can just be somebody. I mean, is there a good state's attorney general out there? I don't know. I don't follow attorney generals throughout, all 50 states. There's got to be like one attorney general in some state that's pretty damn good. There you go, Missouri AG. I don't know anything about him, but surely there's somebody out there that has some experience running one of these.
I don't know. Was that guy in office, Gabriel, when the Contra couple got in trouble? Remember?
Contra?
What were they again? The McCluskeys? Yeah, was that AG in office when all that went down? Oh, man. So, yeah, hire Kamala. She has a proven track record. I mean, come on.
Cameron Pasha, he had a successful legal career for a while, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he's trying to be a lawyer right now. I need you to have these videos removed, guys.
Blue-eyed Scorpio, you're not to be honest, Alex Jones as AG is as serious of a pick as Matt Gaetz.
as Matt Gaetz.
They're seriously, I'd flip a coin between the two. And I'm not a fan of Alex Jones.
Load up, boys. We're heading to the swamp and going after the frogs.
Jeez.
We're going to prosecute the hell out of them.
That was the first pick where I went,
damn amphibians, you can't trust them. We're going to go after
them. Who else? I only have the big ones. I didn't go after who else got a nomination?
Marco Rubio for Secretary of State.
Oh, I totally missed that.
That's a good one.
That's
a very important cabinet position as well. It's like in secession, the line of secession. So
a lot of people are criticizing that one because they don't trust Rubio. Now you're talking about Vivek being a snake. I think Rubio's a bigger snake.
Really?
Oh yeah. He's just smarmy and no.
I'm not a big Rubio fan, but I like him more than Vivek. I think the Secretary of State position is a position that'd be one of those that I might get rid of, along with the entire State Department, if I were like just to be able to wish cast. But I'm not like that pick. I'm just like meh on. Like he did have a good zinger against somebody who was like trying to whine at him about the fucking loser dogs that are dying in a garbage strip. And he's just like, I blame Hamas for that. You know, make sure you get that. I blame Hamas for those people dying. Not Israel. Yeah. I like that answer. So.
Yeah. Who else?
Another terrible pick because I just hate him. Mike Huckabee for ambassador to Israel.
Oh, what a!
He's just like, I love his daughter. Like his daughter's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't like him.
Oh gosh, dude, I remember. I think this was a couple of years before he ran in 2008. Okay, remember that stupid Saturday night show he had on Fox News?
Oh yeah, that was awful.
With his fucking guitar and shit.
Not a banjo?
Look, you could say, hey, Tim, you're a hypocrite here because you earlier in the stream, you talked about a president that would talk to people, but he was talking about Iran and stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, we should try to make friends with them and all this stuff. Look, I don't think Trump was trying to make friends with the idiot from North Korea, or he wouldn't do that with the Ayatollah or anyone else. There's a difference between wanting to make friends and, trying to make sure that they're not going to blow the world up. But I literally remember this segment where Bush and them were getting a little bit hawkish with Iran, and he's like, no, we got to make friends with them and all this stuff. It's like these people are like jihadists and stuff. Like, I don't think any other actual nation, not like a fake nation like Palestine, in the Middle East is more jihadist than Iran. Can you name one?
A nation that's more jihadist than Iran. Afghanistan.
Well, that's fuck. Is that even a fucking country at this point? It's a freaking cesspool. But Iran is like, for what now? 40 years since I was 4 years old. They've been the Islamic State. They directly fund Hamas and Hezbollah. It's really hard.
I don't know if they're the worst, but they're the worst with means. So I think there's some other countries out there that probably have worse, like Yemen, like Steve-O said. Turkey, I think, is pretty awful, but like Iran has the means because of their oil income, to do what they do.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So point is, we're not going to make friends with them, Mike Huckabee. Like he's a dunce.
I just don't like I don't like all sucks politicians.
Yeah.
I hate them, to be honest.
And he literally almost said that during the segment I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do that, guys. Oh, shucks. We just got to make friends with these guys, and then we won't have a war with them. But at least he wasn't McCain and singing,
yeah,
bomb, 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 bomb,
Well, there isn't a country on earth that McCain didn't want to invade, as long as it was with somebody else.
Yeah, he wants to get revenge for what happened to him.
What happened to him was justified.
Revenge for Goose.
Oh, boy. You talk about Jane Fonda, right? What did he really do when he was in captivity?
His prison guard.
Jane might have been there. I mean,
singing a song.
Yeah.
Doing the tour for the troops, but for the other side.
Holy shit, Steve. So I'm not highlighting that.
Dang. I like it, though.
Woo! But I'm going to admit to you, in 2008, I lived about half mile from here in a very small but brand new and well-appointed condominium, and I had a McCain sign out front. Because, again, it's about, do I want him or Obama?
It was one of the hardest votes I've ever had to cast.
Yeah, absolutely it was.
And one of the reasons that I hate Huckabee.
I can see Russia from my front porch.
What an embarrassment. But there's another perfect example of an aw shucks politician. Be like, well, I'm just like one of you. Like, you don't need to be like me. You need to be empathetic with my concerns. And the issues that I care about. You don't need to be me. I don't want you to be me.
Right.
Like, I'm me. I'm like, I don't need to see myself in my politician. That's just stupid.
That's where it came from.
Right. And I hate that. Like I'm one of you guys. Like, look, just like I don't want to see some fucking like dude that I know is like an Ivy League graduate, never wears anything other than suits all day, like shoot a campaign commercial where he's out in the fucking marshes hunting ducks. Like, the fuck you do? You don't hunt. We know you don't hunt, and it doesn't matter if you don't hunt, as long as you support our rights to hunt. That's what matters. Not that you do it too, you dumb schmucks. My God, I hate that. I hate that. And yeah, Sarah Palin reminded me of very much of that whole ticket, but McCain was just fucking awful.
I always tell this story, but I'll tell it again. I think there was a rally. I want to say it was like in, I don't know, Tulsa, Oklahoma, maybe. It was either there or at the campus of Oklahoma State, which is, I don't know, like an hour west of Tulsa. And a black conservative man was like, it was at a town hall type of thing during the campaign, and he got on the mic, and it's like, sir, like, time's running out. You need to go on the attack. And he's like, I'm begging you to use some of the stuff that's out there against your opponent. So McCain, like, gets up and marches down the aisle with this stern look on his face and shakes his hand. And then you can read what he's like saying, with his mouth. And he's like, I'm going to do it or whatever. And then the whole crowd's clapping. Guess what happened the next day? He didn't do it.
Oh, of course he didn't do it. He never did that in his entire. Like he didn't really run a campaign the entire time. It was just like it's my turn to lose. But see, that's a man that he was happier when he was in the minority party because then he just would be able to run to Fox News, MSNBC, or whatever network would have him on there so he could complain. Or he could play spoiler and vote with the other side for the sake of it, really. That's why I never liked that guy. But Huckabee stayed in that race in the primaries in order to clear the way for McCain. Because by Huckabee staying in, he won or siphoned enough votes in the southern primaries to keep McCain's opponent, which I believe was Romney at the time, his chief opponent, from doing well enough in those states to get enough delegates to put up a fight with McCain. So basically, Huckabee staying in a hopeless race for him was simply to clear the floor for McCain. And I don't like that kind of political strategy and everything. I just think it's dishonest.
What do you mean it wasn't Romney? It was Fred Thompson. I used to be on Law and Order and some other shows. You should vote for me for president. I'm the second coming of Reagan.
Well, there's a lot of people that were running in the primary. I don't think Fred Thompson was in it in the late.
Dude, I used to have this blog on MySpace, and they took all that shit away before I could download it. But in 2008, I was on fire. I did a breakdown of every candidate, every Republican candidate, and just eviscerated all of them. I wish I had that blog. It would be freaking awesome because you had Thompson, you had Rudy, you had Mike Huckabee. Yep. Who else was in that shit? You had Ron Paul, right? Was that the one where Newt Gingrich ran?
He might have, yeah.
I think it was Newt. Eminently unelectable is what Newt Gingrich was. But he had that record to run on, when he was speaker, and they got all that stuff done and all that stuff. Yeah, Thompson was a dud. Big time dud. Yeah, Rick Santorum. That's right. Oh yeah. Horrible. Oh my gosh, that guy was horrible. Out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was Romney, dude. He had 271 delegates. Mm-hmm. Ron Paul.
I think it was. I know what it was. I know who.
Thompson had 11 delegates.
I think it was George Allen, governor of Virginia, and he had to drop out because he said that weird thing during a dinner about like an Indian guy or something kind of racist. So he had to drop out.
Well, I'm going by Wikipedia. So basically, as John McCain won the nomination with 1,575. Because once you start consolidating, it's going to be when the other states.
Yep, that was it.
Throw your votes there, but it was Huckabee it was second place at 278, and Romney at 271. Ron Paul at 35. Fred Thompson had 11. He probably just won Tennessee, and that's it.
Yeah.
Alan Keyes got 2.
Forgot about him.
Duncan Hunter. I never even heard.
California. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember him.
Rudy had 0 votes. All right.
Well, he would have been 0. Another neocon.
John Cox of the Cox Financial Group. Okay. Jim Gilmore. 0.
Stizo just outed himself as a Nader voter.
Gross.
No, Jordan had said to look up this Camille Vasquez. So I get now why, Jordan. She was Johnny Depp's lawyer. And she's kind of like a milfy.
She's the cute one. Yeah.
I was going to say the name sounds familiar.
Let's
I know this is like it's going to cross the bridge a little bit from politics, but it's politically related because
Okay.
Fox News, who's owned by the disgusting Murdoch family, also owns. Yeah, I'm aware they're from Australia.
Great
Doesn't
Australia.
mean no, they're terrible people. Ran 20th Century Fox Studios into the ground and forced it into Disney's hands at that Murdoch family, whose son is Lachlan, and you're going to be a fag lover if your name is Lachlan.
Lockie Murdoch.
Yeah, and people don't know it yet, but that company's already ideologically captured because of the sons, and Murdoch is about to die because he's so decrepitly old. He's like Biden. The paper that Johnny Depp sued in England is owned by the Murdochs.
Most of the papers around the world.
No, not really, but
well, they used to be.
Yeah. Why were we bringing up her anyway? Is she going to get a position?
I think that Jordan's implication was AG. So,
I mean, she did a great job in the Johnny Depp case, but like, I don't know if that, I certainly had like, I was definitely one of the guys who were like, I'm really attracted to her. She's hot. Because she was like, also, it's like,
who? I don't know who that is.
I don't know Alina Habba.
Okay, I know who she is now. She was part of Trump's team. Yeah, not too bad.
I gotta be honest.
What about Jennifer Walters?
Who?
Jennifer Walters.
Who's that?
Yeah, we'll look up Jennifer Walters as a attorney.
It's some character, isn't it?
Oh, fuck you.
Did you find her?
Yeah. She's green with envy.
Okay, it's the She-Hulk.
Yeah.
I knew I figured you're gonna go either going to like She-Hulk or Legally Blonde or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's her name? Elle.
Elle.
Here you go, Tim. How can you not choose this?
Oh yeah.
Ugh. I'm not maximizing that. I don't
know if I'd pick anybody that was on Trump's legal team because their record has not exactly been stellar.
Yeah.
Granted, in a lot of, I mean, particularly in 2020 election legal issues, they were kind of awful. In the cases that the Justice Department was going after him with, and certain attorney generals were going after him, and like those were so rigged that like I don't know if any lawyer would have done well. It's kind of like Alex Jones lawyers. You're basically, it's like you're controlling the degree at which you're losing at best, because you're going to lose because it's just stacked against you, because you're not, the jury's going to hate your guts.
Unless they're
Who else got nominated?
The Secretary of Defense is a Fox News morning host.
What?
Yeah, he's a Fox and Friends host. That's not all he is. Like, the other side is making a big deal. It's like, oh, you Fox and Friends host is going to be Secretary of Defense. Well, I mean, he did get like 2 Bronze Stars and has served in the military and has written books about wokeness in the military and shit like that. So it's like, it's not like the only thing he's ever done. He's not like Brian Kilmeade or something like that.
I was thinking.
Like the sports guy? No way. Yeah, no. Like, is he qualified to run the department? I think he's qualified to do what he's gonna do, and that's he's gonna fire the.
Kill me that hasn't done sports in 25 years.
Yeah, okay. The Secretary of Defense guy, like people didn't like him because it's like, well, he has no history with defense contractors. I'd be like, well, that's a plus to me, and to a lot of people. And I think like his goal, the person you want to put in there in the DoD is somebody that's going to go in there and just take all the DEI and diversity training and sensitivity training and all that gay bullshit, just burn it, set it on fire.
Please.
Fire every general that's been promoting it and pushing it. And like all the generals that have wormed their way up the ranks through political achievement, not through military achievement, get rid of those fuckers. And I think that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna go in there. If he gets confirmed, he's gonna gut that DEI shit. You know, you might actually see like some like old school commercials for the army that like make you want to go and join and kill shit instead of like stuff that were like Sally has 2 mommies that are proud of her service. You know, like you're not gonna get those fucking ads anymore. And so like the military might actually achieve its recruitment goals for the first time in forever. So we'll see on that one. On that one, I'm just like, I'm curious. Like, I don't feel passionate about that pick in particular, but like, if that's his, like that's what you want the DoD to do right now, then yes, he's your guy. And that would be a good thing. I think the military needs to get rid of that shit and just be like, join the military to kill things and blow shit up. And then wave the flag. That's a recruiting video that you want. So I think that pick is pretty decent.
Zack Snyder, head of DoD.
No thanks.
Just blow shit up.
I'm reading about this guy. I haven't watched Fox and Friends in I don't know how many years.
Yeah, I couldn't like I didn't like it even when I watched Fox on a regular basis. I think Elizabeth Warren had like a really interesting statement I saw going around that like, well, he's not qualified. Like and she's implying that she's more qualified because she has brothers that served in the military. And it's like, but he served directly.
Right.
like he didn't have brothers that served. He served. And I think for this cabinet level civilian position, you don't need to necessarily be a service member to be able to run and be qualified for the Defense Department.
Well, no, I mean, there's civilian ways to get there as well.
Well, I just think like, you have to have good ideas and be a good manager and follow the direction of the commander in chief.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to serve through one of the major military branches. Like there's
correct
other agencies you can go through.
Yeah, you could be like, hey, I'm, a former, FBI agent and now I'm going to run, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's like a massive, I don't think it's a super big necessity that somebody has service. Oh, good God.
Hopefully she can sell some policy like she can sell a stone cold stunner. Actually, no, because she had the worst sell of a stone cold stunner I've ever seen.
No. You cannot say that. You saw Stone Cold's last ever stunner against Vince in that Kevin Owens match, didn't you? Or the Kevin Owens weekend. Yeah. That was the worst act in a wrestling ring I have ever seen.
I would not be very much in favor of Linda McMahon running
Shane O'Mac. What about Shane O'Mac?
I'll make it very broad. I don't think anybody that's ever been associated with professional wrestling in any capacity is qualified to be in any position in government.
What about Trump? He beat Vince in a match.
Oh,
you're right. I take it back. That's right. He had a brief stint as a wrestler. I'm sorry.
He could have been champion if he stuck around.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to live the road life. He didn't want 300 days on the road.
Could you imagine him going for like 20 minutes in a match?
Oh, that's
Does
probably
the diving headbutt like Benoit with that big fucking buff hair.
This isn't probably next, but I guarantee a Hogan one's coming.
Oh,
could you imagine?
Hogan wants to be anything.
Could you imagine Trump versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake? And for like, one of those matches where he shaves
hair
his head?
versus hair match, yeah.
Well, didn't you see the video of Brutus coming out of the polling place?
No.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, and he's got little flags and Trump shirt and all that stuff. Yeah.
As sad as it is, if I haven't seen a professional wrestler in like more than 5 to 10 years, I just assume they're dead. Like that's the sad reality.
Dude, he was.
That's kind of a fair assumption, really.
He was the subject of
DiBiase for treasure.
He was a yeah, that's perfect. And hey,
him and Owen R. Shyster.
Yeah, Mike Rotunda, he's actually doing pretty well. But like health wise, he was just inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, and him and Barry Windham were for the U.S. Express.
So Virgil for Secret Service director, then
Virgil's dead. He died about a year ago.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Virgil. Sorry.
I don't even know what I was going to say, but
Mike Rotunda.
No, it was something else. Jake for U.S. Fish and Wildlife. There you go.
Okay. Him and Coco Beware.
Coco's alive.
Barely. After that tombstone he took from the Undertaker's first tombstone on TV.
Yeah.
He's lucky to be walking.
You know the lore. The Red Rooster. Yeah, Terry Taylor's doing really well too, health-wise. Because he retired early. He didn't try to wrestle till he was 60 years old. So... Yeah, Gabriel should just be the picker. Yep.
Yeah.
No, but
I can't say I would nominate any of those.
Conceivably, what would he give Hogan? Here's what he'll do. He'll make Hogan and RFK like co-chairs of the
FDA.
Yeah. Hey, dude, I'm here to hook you up with some really good stuff that'll give you big muscles.
Take your vitamins. Say your
prayers. Yeah. The training, the saying prayers,
but also drink my American beer, all American beer.
Yeah, with packaging that looks like PBR.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Like I wouldn't confirm RFK either. I know it'd be like considered a massive betrayal, but like not a fan of RFK.
Yeah. Paul Bear is
ambassador
dead.
to Canada.
Well, you know my policy. That's the first invasion I would commit to.
Brett's just there to ease the blow. He's just walking into Canada saying,
"Oh,
sorry guys, I couldn't fix it."
That's a good segue because I know nothing about this guy and I keep hearing how awesome he is. So I want you, Greg, to explain to me this border czar. But first, we got to watch something first. Shit, I thought I had added this. Here it is. All right. Everyone get a drink and take a little bit of a break. That's a good border czar right there. Are you crying? Are you crying, Blake?
WWE did some fucking wild shit in the mid 2000s. You had Durag Vince. You had JBL throwing people over the border. You had Kane fucking dead women. There's some weird shit happening. Oh,
the chat loves it. I didn't even play the beginning part where he's whispering and stuff.
I made a lot of money. I built wealth, and I get taxed more so that I can pay for all these illegals leeching off our government.
Yeah.
I mean, talking
It
about
was-
Ted DiBiase before, like that JBL, he was DiBiase 2.0 with that character.
Oh yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because they didn't have anyone. It's like, gosh, we need a heel for Eddie or whoever to chase the belt, and they just kind of invented that character out of thin air, and it worked.
Yeah.
So Greg, tell us about this border czar. Who is he, and why is he so awesome?
Well, people are a big fan of him because he's basically kind of a no bullshit, all in, balls to the wall border hawk. And he's had a history in Congress, testifying in committees. He had a great back and forth exchange with AOC. And basically, like, he's just, that clip you played of Matt Gaetz earlier, like, he's that, but like can back it up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, he's asked, like, well, what about separating the families? And he's like, well, it's easy, just deport them together. They're not separated. When he's asked in front of Congress about separating families, because that's their go-to argument. Like, because look, guys, like, understand that every single one of the news agencies that exist out there are going to run wall-to-wall sob stories with poor, helpless, one-legged grannies being thrown over the border, right? Look at how mean Trump is, and it's going to have some sobbing, American kids, some fucking anchor babies crying because grandma's getting tossed out of the country. And, they're going to do their best to, like, to portray only the heartstring cases in the media. They're not gonna run a big news story about how Jose, the rapist, rapist drunk driver is getting thrown out of the country. That story is never gonna be aired. But grandma getting tossed out, that one's gonna be. But this guy is basically, he's super hawkish. He's like, I'm going to protect the border. I'm going to stop the fentanyl. I'm going to save lives. The only thing that I don't like him is it's just a little bit too, how do I say this? Copy, a little too intense about his mission and everything. Like, it's what you need for the border right now. But he's the right guy right now for the job, but I wouldn't, under normal circumstances, necessarily put him in that position. But he's had great exchanges in Congress. I forget why he had one with the separating the kids. He's basically like, look, the cops do that every time they arrest somebody.
I put the clip in the chat if you want to watch it.
It's like, he's like, look, every time that we arrest a guy for domestic violence, we're separating him from his family.
What
every
shit?
time?
The private chat here.
The private chat tab. Every time that we arrest somebody for drunk driving and they have a kid in the car, we separate the family, like, because they're breaking the law. Of course we separate the families. That's just part of it. And so he's got really good, kind of strong defenses of these positions, because they're going to, I mean, that's the angle they're going to play. Is like, you're separating families. Like, no, we're not. They can go with them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fact that he's just so absolutely plain spoken and hardcore about, like, throwing people out of the country. The people are just like, okay, Trump means business. And he just looks, he's like the cop version of that piece of shit port workers union guy. He's like the suit version of that. Go ahead and play it.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States.
Oh, I got to back it up.
Yeah, it's like she just, yeah.
Oh man, let me tell you guys something.
She's an idiot.
But I see this every day at work. Because don't forget, guys, we have Zoomers in the workplace now.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't care what their politics are. Almost all of them are this way. They hate when you just don't go with the flow and you push back. They don't like it, man. And they get this face right here. Well, I'm going to go and do this. Well, have you thought about this? Because if you do that, then this and this could happen, and that would be bad. And then this is the face I get. Like, oh no, I can't believe you didn't just let me do what I wanted to do. It's like the generation of spoiled brats. That's what it is. And I'm going to spank them all.
The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
Okay. So should
Includes family.
I didn't see that particular version of the clip, but that's pretty entertaining.
I love Arrested Development.
Yeah. So the two things that they're going to do is be like, well, they're seeking asylum. And that's why I said, last week, it's like one of the major reform bills that needs to be up there is they need to close the asylee loophole. Because just showing up, even at I don't think it's a good answer. Just be like, we'll do it at a port of entry. Like, no, don't fraudulently seek asylum, period. And while your case is being reviewed, remain in Mexico, which was a policy under Trump's first administration. It's one of the first things that Biden got rid of. It should be one of the first things that is put back, remain in Mexico. Like you can, if you want to seek asylum, fine, but you're going to wait on the other side of the border while we adjudicate your claim. And we're going to scrutinize the claim. Like you're going to have to come up with some credible evidence that you need to seek political asylum because you have a legitimate fear of retaliation or retribution based on your status.
Yeah.
I highly doubt she actually still owes that, but
well, before elected, yeah,
that's true. But yeah, that's the game that's going to get played. Just like every time that it's like the shutdown of government thing, right? It's like the optics of it matter, and we're going to need to do it. And I think we should follow through on it, but we should be prepared to get bombarded with a bunch of sob stories. And what the right needs to do is for every one of those, we need to have our own that we can play about some piece of shit criminal getting his ass tossed. Because you're not going to win. You're not going to win hearts and minds going, well, oh yeah, that sweet old lady. We still need to kick her out. Like, it's the truth, we do, but that's not going to win an optics battle. What you need to do is be like, yeah, she didn't do it the legal way, so we're just following the rules here. And, by following the rules, we're getting rid of this guy, and this guy who are, serial drunk drivers and violent criminals.
Yeah, like never forget. Bring up the story every time. Never forget that time that violent Australian went to America and abused that poor woman at the convention.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Forget.
One with pink hair.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what you got to do. That's what you're protecting in your country.
And the other thing that
he wants to move over there, so watch out.
The other thing you do is you make it very, very unprofitable for the media to exist. And there's ways you can do that are very easy. Like the first thing you do is get rid of, make it so that all broadcast channels cannot charge carriage fees. If you have a license to broadcast over the air, you cannot charge cable companies and satellite distributors money for a signal that you give out for free.
Yeah, how retarded is that?
You absolutely you can if you want to be a subscriber based channel, then you don't get to also be an over the air. Like you can choose one or the other. You cannot have both. And then you just also make it so that every cable channel that has a carriage fee can be opted out by the consumer. And you don't pass it as an anti-fuck the media bill. You just pass it as a consumer protection bill. You just do it easy. Hey, we're protecting consumers from outrageous carriage fees charged by these cable channels. We're doing it. We're on your side.
I've had this idea for years. You should be
You
able to
destroy ESPN in 3 months.
Yeah. Like a box, like you tick on like the channels you want each month, and you can go
Yeah.
in and change it. Like this month I want this, and it comes up a price. Like it's going to be this much for these channels, and then you take them off, and like it deducts like I don't know $2-3 a channel or something like that. But I've had that idea for years. Like you could just go in each month.
Yeah, a la carte. Yeah, a la carte. Like I would go far as to say like you can have bundles and everything, but like if your channel also charges a carriage fee of over X amount, then you should be able to opt out of it. Yeah. And your biggest channels that are going to be impacted there are your sports channels and some of the news channels. Actually, Fox News would probably be one of the hardest hit, but like I said, who cares? They're
a lot of those legacy
they're
ones that
compromised already. So,
hey, this is a good time to talk about this really quick. I was going to mention it because we're talking about TV. I logged into Facebook last night, and the first post I see is PBR saying that they had to leave Merritt Street Media because they were not paying licensing fees. So it's looking like Dr. Phil's little media empire is not in good financial shape, and it just launched about 7 months ago. Yeah.
Well, he was just shilling for the president, so maybe that's why.
I will say this, though, that during the assassinations, both attempts, I was a little shocked because I'm in the pool. This is back in summer, right? And I'm watching bull riding, and then they cut in. They had a damn newsroom before anyone else, like none of the networks were talking about it. The newsroom cuts in, and they had coverage and everything. And I'm like, holy shit. And it took like CBS, ABC, even Fox, like 30 minutes to an hour to go on the air and talk about it. Then the second one was even worse.
The conspiracy theory, maybe they knew something beforehand.
Shut up, Blake. No, but let me tell you this.
It was
we are
Dr.
watching.
Phil organized it all.
Yeah, we are watching election coverage, and it wasn't too bad, except for him. Anytime they let him talk or he let himself talk, all it was is like, yeah, we need to use this time to heal and reach across the aisle. And it's like, and all the people he had on there, it's like, no, this is like gang activity. We're going to like stomp heads and beat the shit out of people politically. Like, it was just hilarious.
Yeah,
but yeah,
no,
it doesn't sound like they're doing too good financially. They lost PBR, and who knows who else is next. So,
I'm sorry, what is PBR?
Professional bull riding.
Oh,
Tim's throwing this acronym around like we're all supposed to know what PBR
I mean, I'm like
is.
they lost the beer because I'm thinking past Blue Ribbon.
They've held events in your country multiple times, Blake. I mean,
Oh, I know. I know bull riding is really popular up north, especially around Queensland. But do you know where?
Yep.
What else? Like, you know where Queensland is? That's where Mozza lives. So just let that sink in. Like, bull riding is popular where Mozza is.
Yeah, same with Gabriel. I thought it was PBR the beer.
I thought it was the channel. I thought you were talking about the channel that Dr. Phil was on.
no, Merritt Street Media. That's the little media company he started up. They have Merit Plus. It was free, right? With ads. They even had like affiliates and all that stuff. So I assume they still do, but yeah.
I mean, I feel bad. I'm like, what are they going to do without the 8 people watching professional bull riding?
Oh, it's more than that.
Tim's in
I'm sorry, 12?
Way more than that, dude. Come on. They sell out like arenas and stuff in New York and California.
Fucking so do
Texas,
tractor pulls. That doesn't mean
South
they're
Dakota.
not stupid.
No, it's a big industry.
It's a growing sport.
Big bull.
Yeah, people are going to the wrong events.
Tim's a fan of Big Bull.
I don't know what Big Bull is.
Big black bull.
Yeah, well,
he does like watching the BBC.
Do you know how long?
Oh yeah, because bull riding is so based. Okay.
Do you know how long they have to stay on it to have a qualified ride?
8 seconds.
Yeah. See, Blake
I've
knows.
seen the movie.
He saw the stupid Luke Perry movie.
Yeah, with Luke Perry.
Who's Luke Perry?
The star.
The legend from 90210.
Is it 8.5 seconds?
Okay.
The movie.
The guy who had a brilliant line and that he just said over and over again. No, he responded to a brilliant line. Aziz Light.
Lights.
Lights. And
then he marks it down.
In Fifth Element.
Yeah.
He was the artist drawing the aliens.
And he's Pike in the
45
Buffy
seconds.
the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
The movie with Christy Swanson.
Yeah, he plays Pike in that. Sadly passed away a few years ago.
Tell you another base
Quite
sport.
a while ago.
Tell you another base sport. Golf. Love watching golf. Love watching golf.
It was fun until Tiger came and ruined it.
Oh. Dadgum mongrel.
Greg Norman.
Hey, I was just looking this up, and I guess they still exist. But remember the Minuteman Project?
From the Civil War or from the Revolutionary War?
No, remember about 15, I think that's where JBL got the idea from, but about 15, 20 years, it was 20 years ago. No one was doing anything to protect the border, so this organization, like they still exist apparently.
I thought they got like sued and harassed out of existence.
No, they
Wasn't
still
that
exist.
like loosely connected to the Romney family?
Are you being serious?
I thought it was.
No, that's just what his wife calls
down at
him.
the border. They used to do they had some connection down with the border, like they were doing some like weird shit.
I don't know. I'm not seeing anything in this article, but I'm gonna have to catch up and see where they're at. But yeah. Oh yeah, and then I remember this MS-13 tried to go after them.
Well, you messing.
Arnold Schwarzenegger praised them during an interview on the John and Ken show. He wouldn't do that now.
No,
Yeah, I don't like that's certainly not anything to brag about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
All
right, let's
screw your border.
Screw your border protection.
Arnold
So let's talk about this FEMA
I need somebody to take care of my donkey.
Oh, jeez. Let's
Other
talk
than
about
its
this.
asshole, because I take care of that.
Let's talk about this FEMA situation. Do you guys know what happened?
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry.
So originally, on the 9th, here's the article, and I think it was like Daily Wire that first
Daily Wire
reported on
broke
this.
it.
Yeah,
Daily Wire
but
broke
this
it.
is New York Post, again, editorially conservative newspaper, reporting here. The Federal Emergency Management Agency supervisor accused of ordering her subordinates to skip Florida homes with Trump campaign signs has been fired. Mommy Washington was sacked for telling disaster relief workers in Lake Placid, Florida, to not go to homes with yard signs supporting President-elect Trump. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell said Saturday. So this is something they're coming clean on and just admitting, right? There's no cover up or anything. This is a clear violation. What?
Should he just be flat out jailed for this?
Well, we'll find out here. This is a clear violation of FEMA's core values. Oh no. And principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation. This employee has been terminated, and we have referred the matter to the Office of Special Counsel. And then this is what she looked like. Is anyone surprised?
No.
I will continue to do everything I can to make sure this never happens again. The disturbing directive was allegedly made in late October as Washington 39 worked with a FEMA team in the central Florida town in the wake of Hurricane Milton. Avoid homes advertising Trump, she wrote in a best practices memo to employees, a copy of which was obtained by Daily Wire. The instructions also advised them to stay hydrated and to follow the rules. She also gave the direction verbally, according to the report. Washington's sister, April Brown, 39, claimed she was stunned to hear about her siblings' brazen actions. Damn. So even her sister's not standing up for her.
Well, like, because this is a federal agency, right? Like, you should just, you should just be jailed for this outright.
I mean, there it is. There's a screenshot right there, right? Look at that. Avoid homes advertising Trump. Do you have video of this, Greg? Don't you have video of this?
Yeah, I sent it in the chat.
You mean
There's
in
a
the
video?
X chat, right?
Yep.
Twitter, I believe it's called.
I think I sent it, didn't I? Yeah, I did.
Okay, so what is this video before we even click on it?
This is an interview.
What?
Of her. This is an interview with her. After she got sacked. And she's on this dude's show, and she's basically saying, yeah, I did it because it was direction from higher up, and it was happening everywhere, including South Carolina.
So you didn't timestamp it.
Go 11 minutes in.
All right. Let me move it over to the correct monitor here. Let me move it over to the 29.
We do the screen shuffle.
Yeah, and that's Refrigerator Perry. Not doing the Super Bowl shuffle, though. All right, let's see.
Hey, you didn't stop sharing.
Yeah, I know, because I wanted to make sure the audio was there. You never know. All right, Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Joins us now from California for this exclusive interview. Martin, glad to have you here. So let's walk through this. First of all, when were you notified? Because the Daily Wire said there was a whistleblower who made this point. Go ahead.
I was notified after I demobbed. The next morning, they told me verbally I was fired, but they never provided me anything in writing stating that I was fired. They all alleged that these actions were made on my own recognizances and that it was for my own political advances. However, if you look at the record, there is what we call a community trend. And unfortunately, it just so happened that the political hostility that was encountered by my team, and I was on 2 different teams during this deployment, they just so happened to have the Trump campaign signage. FEMA always preaches avoidance first and then de escalation. So this is not isolated. This is a colossal event of avoidance, not just in the state of Florida, but you will find avoidance in the Carolinas. Senior leadership will lie to you and tell you that they do not know. But if you ask the DSA crew leads and specialists what they are experiencing in the field, they will tell you. Demand for FEMA to give you those incident reports. They will substantiate what is happening to us in the field.
Okay, so.
All right, so number one.
Sounds like following orders kind of shit.
Well, number one, not hard to believe that maybe what she's saying is true, right?
Yeah.
But it also sounds like she thinks it's justified. So you're telling me that maybe you had one bad experience with someone with a certain sign. So you're going to assume that every other house that has that sign is going to be bad. It almost sounds like she supports it.
It does, doesn't
just
it?
following orders.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just following orders, but she's like, they were good orders because like I had 2 houses that had Trump signs and they were giving me shit. It's like, oh, so if I'm part of FEMA and I go to LA after an earthquake and I'm just like, oh, these 2 Mexicans gave me a hard time, so no more helping Mexicans.
Yeah.
Like that'd be fine then, right? Based on that logic, right?
Right.
Oh no. Huh.
Yep.
A lot of heads need.
Of course
to roll.
not. Yeah, I think anybody who gave the order should be fired. Anybody who gave the order should be fired and have their citizenship revoked. Anybody who followed the order.
That's extreme.
And like you should have seriously considerable legal action. Like the people who had signed weren't helped out during these times. Like they should have rights to take considerable legal action against not over the FEMA, but the individuals themselves in those positions. Like if you want to turn it into like a civil case or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's criminal. That's criminal.
Let's go through that. And you also sent a text message to folks. You said, my civilian job has severed ties based on their core values, which is based on FEMA's determination of firing me. You laid the core values. You said, which of these did I violate? You said, I did not vote for Kamala. I'm nonpartisan. FEMA did not give me fairness. They violated their own values. They know homes are being skipped due to political hostile encounters. So when you say you didn't vote for Vice President Kamala Harris, did you not vote at all in this election?
Correct.
And so...
I didn't even have
I got it. You know what that means, guys, right? What does that mean?
She'll be working for the Rippaverse soon.
There you go. Man, you get the references, Blake. You get the cookie.
Election due to the amount of deployment requests and the high demand of help that is needed with FEMA.
So, okay. So you normally do vote. You simply didn't vote in this election.
Correct.
Okay. So let's go through this. And again, they say you skipped the homes. And so when you talk about the incident reports, have you released those publicly? Have you released the report saying this is where I notified FEMA executives of these particular homes and how they were hostile to our workers?
So I have not relinquished any reports. And any time that we relinquish reports, we do not state specific homes due to PII. What we do is we discuss community trends. So if we are noticing, for example, on Mary Street, you'll find 3 or 4 homes that we tried to canvass and we were greeted with unwelcomed arms, or people are coming out guns blazing or he's screaming at us, then that's a street we need to avoid altogether.
Okay, so let's so first and foremost, is
Wait.
Is it Avanoth?
So it's FEMA's policy
Oh,
that if I live on the same street as some psycho and a tornado hits my neighborhood, I don't get disaster relief because the guy down the road's an asshole? That's stupid.
Welcome to
That's government right there.
Welcome to
good
collectivism.
Lord. No, they live on the same street. Oh. But what if it was, let me ask you this, what if it's a black neighborhood? Would you have the same response? Would that be legal? Of course, you'd say no, and most people would say no. But, Interesting.
that's my civilian job, Advanith, yes.
Okay, all right. So I'm sorry. So explain us civilian job and fired from FEMA for folks who don't understand.
Yes. At home, I have a regular job like everyone else. I have an executive position. I take care of things there. For that job, I'm in contract with them on their terms. And then for FEMA, I work as a reservist. So my time for them is on call based on deployments orders that I receive.
So explain them when you say the deployment. FEMA's not military. So what does that actually mean?
Deployment means that they are asking you to leave your resident of records and to respond to a natural disaster on United Nations land.
Okay, and that, so how long have you been
What?
United Nations land.
When did we give Florida to the United Nations?
Holy shit.
She obviously misspoke.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to sound technical here, like House of Residents or whatever, and it's just like, okay, deployed means that they're making me travel for work.
She obviously means United First Nations land.
Yeah.
They had to go into occupied territory.
No, they think that United States is United Nations land. That's what they think.
FEMA's just a branch of NATO.
Actually with FEMA?
Since 2019.
Since 2019. So you had worked other disasters around the country.
Correct, and I always exceed the expectation, and I come highly recommended.
Okay. So when they say a FEMA employee, are you technically a FEMA employee or contract?
I am an employee. There's different forms of hire with FEMA. You can be a reservist. You can be a PFT, which is a full-time employee, or you can be part of the Corps where you work 50 weeks out of the year. You can also contract with FEMA as well. So there's various forms of employment with FEMA.
So not only were you fired from FEMA, go to my iPad, your civilian, so your other job with Avanath, you've been fired from that job too.
They actually did that in writing, yes.
Okay, so what did they say you violated? First of all, what kind of company is this? I've never heard of it. What kind of company is it?
It is a property management company. They are nationwide. I am a regional manager. Well, I was a regional manager for that property. I took care of their portfolios.
Were you assistant to the regional
for
manager?
various
Just
different
regional
acquisitions within it. I'm not sure what core values I have violated there because my actions with FEMA have nothing to do with them at all.
Yeah, so I'm reading this, and this is from a Pat
Holy
Gaudin,
fuck. Come on.
Gaudin. It says, I regret to inform you that your employment with Avanath is being terminated effective November 15, 2024. However, your last day working with Avanath will be effective immediately due to violation of the company's core values and workplace policies. Due to the nature of your absence, I will work directly with you for the return of all Avanath equipment and community access items. Your benefits will terminate on November 30th. Then it goes to final payment, things along those lines. So this is Pat Gaudin, Executive Vice President of Human Resources.
Cobra.
So they never explained to you what you violated?
Hey.
Well, you know what this sounds
Welcome.
like? This sounds like consequence culture. So, you know,
This sounds like YouTube strikes and demonetization. You violated the policy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, what did we violate?
Do you think Elon's
Fix
gonna
this, YouTube.
pay for
Fix
illegal
this,
fees?
FEMA. Fix this now. Jeez.
No, they haven't. And this is all because of FEMA's doing. They allowed a partnering company to leak internal communication and then relinquish all of my personal contact information. So FEMA didn't just jeopardize me. They also put my own company that I work for at home in jeopardy because all this information's on LinkedIn.
Oh, and we're gonna get
FEMA has not gone
I'm
after
getting death threats on Twitter in 5, 4, 3, 2.
1. I'm typing right now.
It's like she's the scapegoat for FEMA, and the company she works for is just completely like it's. She said it herself, like it's a nationwide realty company. So yeah, like you maybe they have some clients that have Trump signs in their yard. Like,
Yeah, you participated in a discrimination attempt against hurricane victims. Like, you're not exactly a good spokesperson for your company.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Even if you are just the assistant to the regional manager.
These people that has leaked this information, that has breached our policies.
Paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong. In fact, this is one of the 3 major credit score lies.
So
you get a more predictable
you
ad
talked about
during this story?
hostility. This was a text message that you sent us where one of the folks out there said, "Good morning, LaGros Road is politically hostile. We are not canvassing this street any further. Moved on to North Lakeview Road. Great decision. Thanks for the update."
Exactly. So my senior leadership was aware.
Politically hostile.
Yeah.
Like they can't even verbally hostile, physically hostile, just politically hostile.
Right, and here's where a good interviewer would ask to be like, "Hey, wait, can you clarify, like, what is a hostile behavior?" Because, I mean, are they just telling you?
I can tell you what it is. I can tell you what it is.
Get off my lawn.
The existence of the signs.
Yeah. That's what they language.
I know I work in corporate culture now for 20 years. That's what that means. And it goes back to the signs itself, not the fact that, this sign indicates actual violent behavior or aggressive behavior. It's just those signs are the aggressive behavior. That's the way that these people think.
And see, but if a good interviewer would make her say it specifically, because she's trying
Let's see if he does here.
She's trying to do the hibbity jibbity, bullshit here, where she's like, "Well, I didn't say that, they were actually violent. I said,
let's continue and see if Fatal J asks her that.
I was going to say,
the amount of encounters that was going on in the field. Again, this was my second time and a second crew in Florida and experiencing unwelcomed behavior from the residents. Now, not all Floridians have been unpleasant, but for the most part, the ones that are very passionate about their disdain for FEMA, they have no problem expressing it.
So walk us through this. You also sent us this, and it says how it works Purple paint marks. Property owners can paint vertical lines of purple paint on trees or posts along the perimeter of their property. It said why it's important for safety, clear boundaries, avoiding accidents. The purple paint clearly communicates that entry onto the land is prohibited without permission, reducing the risk of trespassing-related confrontations. So explain to us what this means, what this is.
It means they can shoot you. If they don't have the sign up that says that they will shoot you, purple rocks and painting of trees means you are likely to be shot. It means you're unwelcome. Do not come.
So,
and they mean that by force.
So if the purple paint is there, that's giving you permission to come onto their property?
No, you do not enter. That's why the word avoidance is down there.
Okay. So,
yes.
So again, for people who don't know, so these are FEMA's rules, correct?
Yes.
So if the property owner uses purple paint on their property,
you stay away.
And first of all, how does the property owner even get this information?
So this is something that FEMA has learned over the years from responding to natural disasters under the Stafford Act. So from community trends, you start learning when you take these notation from field intel. If a community has the purple rocks or painted trees, they learned over time that you are met with aggression usually, or they do.
Excellent point, Jack. Maybe because when disasters happen, looters come out. I mean, duh.
Exactly.
This guy is such a moron. I can't even listen to it anymore.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to listen to any more of it. But the idea that like I have to affirmatively paint my tree purple to keep you off my property.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
You're like, oh, a hurricane's coming. I better go buy purple paint. What? Like,
and then hope all the fucking
because I'm not gay. I don't have purple paint at the ready.
Yeah, but then you got to hope everything's still standing when everything rips
right.
through.
It's Joker's house.
It all purple, but it's all gone now.
I'd be like, and if this is such an issue, then why are we not hearing any news stories about like FEMA volunteers getting shot?
Yeah.
Right. Like this.
Statistically, it would have to happen. Statistically, it would have to happen.
Right. I mean, that so much so that you're that concerned about it that you have this secret purple paint rule, and that you like if you encounter one asshole on a street that for the vague crime of being politically hostile, like then the whole neighborhood gets skipped. Like, right. So one guy and two guys on the street say, "Fuck off, feds." And they're like, "Whoa, we're going to die. So nobody gets help here." That's what we're spending our money on.
Yeah. But
I think that it's just that the whole thing, like it stunk when the reports first came out. And then remember, this is the experts said, nope, this isn't happening. This is made up. It's fake news. It's Trump misinformation, right? During the election, particularly in South Carolina. No, FEMA's not doing that. They're getting all the help. Look at it. It's fake news, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, actually, it's not fake news. Oops. Our bad. Conveniently fixed after the fact, Just like all the experts' opinions on everything. Like, oops, I guess we were wrong. How could we have known?
It's a FEMA policy, and I'm just following orders. Well, guess what? Some guys called Nazis were just following orders too, right? And by the way, the last episode of Band of Brothers, you kind of saw some of that where you could tell that was some of the surviving German officers' attitude, that they were just following orders. And then you could tell the Americans just wanted to blow them away right in front of them, even though, peace had already been signed, treaties and all that stuff.
Yep.
And hey, I apply that to law enforcement as well. Look at all the stuff that happened during COVID. You went along with it. You are the enemy.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, they just should have been wearing higher boots.
Yeah. So I guess you know what that means, guys, after seeing that shit.
Spacer.
Well, first, I mean, is that your spacing of the week?
I think that should be the spacing of the century.
What about you, Blake?
All of FEMA. Both my political leaders. I'll do a dual one. Anthony Albanese and Mr. Potato Head Peter Dutton. Both because they're both in line with the disinformation bill and the under 16 social media ban in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck them both.
What happens if you shoot a FEMA worker with a purple paint gun?
Then you have
they become a pariah from all of FEMA. They have to be.
They go back and nobody will talk to them because they have purple on them.
Yeah, you have to stay away from them.
I'd try and find their vehicles and paint them purple. Just dump purple paint on their vehicles.
That might not be a bad idea. All right, so we know that the Hispanic vote, the black vote, whatever, more than ever went for Republicans this time, right?
Yep.
So that's, I guess, going to kind of be the theme here. Not usually a big fan of gatherings of people, but, just for something like this, you should always, at least once in your life, go to like a car show, especially like a lowrider car show, because you're going to see a whole bunch of this when you go. And it's freaking awesome. Unfortunately, in 2024, there's way more tattoos than you would usually like to see. But in the 80s, 90s, it was freaking awesome. So too bad Timon's not here, because I'm sure we'd get 9 or 10 out of 10 tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say the sleeve tattoos aren't too bad, and they're, as long as they don't have like the full legs and everything, it's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Timon would agree that's tipping close to 10, because you've got 3. Even if you just went
BBL
3.3
if they're each 3 1/3.
Yeah, you're getting 10 across the board, nearly
cumulative 10.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
As a total, we get 10. From
Yeah,
everyone in the
options.
picture. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Timon will have to watch the replay for sure.
You'll just
but
have to
somebody
start clipping
screenshot it
these.
and dump it in our chat.
You're just gonna have to start doing these as shorts, clipping me out as shorts for him, just for Timon update of the week.
Especially like the one on the right, because she doesn't have any tattoos.
When the stream's done, put a timestamp in one of the comments. Timon.
No, he needs to watch the whole thing. Fuck that.
Oh, okay.
Put the timestamp as 0.01.
Yeah. Diversify your portfolio. Yeah, all the car shows. I'm not kidding you. And then you'll get like a concert, like some old school shit, like Zapp and Roger, or someone like that, or some like we call it freestyle. It's not like freestyle rap, but it's a style of music with like really fast beats and like a girl singing usually, or like Stevie B. You guys know Stevie B?
No.
No.
Yeah, man. Where I'm from, they had a car show every 2 weeks, it seems like. So, and there's always like a bass contest, you know, like your system, and see who can have the loudest bass and shit like that. $500 prize, and you know,
Flipping switches.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
That
Hydros.
Like an awful time.
Not Stevie Ray, Stevie B. Stevie B. You guys would know who it is. Like, you would know who it is. Some of his songs. Yeah, bounce coins. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Zappin' Roger. Yep. Roger died. So Friday, again, early spacing, probably 2:30 or 3 o'clock, probably a little bit earlier than that, Central Time, so I can get done and then with my wife watch the fights. She wants to watch the fights. I can't deny her the fights, guys. And then kind of have the rest of the night. So it should be pretty good. And then, of course, we'll be back next Wednesday, guys, for more Grounds of Expediency. These are really good streams. And we're going to go ahead next week and start throwing in some alternative factory book recommendations and stuff like that. We didn't have any fake news break this week. Didn't have time to get it together. I just set the stream up this evening. So that'll make its return, because that's a pretty fun exercise in my opinion. It's always so hard to guess. I don't think there's been
last week I got that one pretty quick though.
You did, yeah, but not everyone has said, "Oh yeah, that's the fake one, Tim." Like, I do a pretty good job of saying, "Well, that sounds like it," but then I'll find a real one that's like, "There's no way that's true," but it is true. So, yeah, guys, we'll be back next Wednesday. Need to start doing some political videos too. That'd be awesome. Be good stuff. But yeah, thanks, Greg. Thanks, Blake. Do you have anything else to say before we're out of here?
Yes.
What?
I want the impossible to happen, because it would just be funny in the sense that there'd be just like everybody would have to buy a lot more merchandise. It'd be basically like I'd like to see Kamala attempt to convene the cabinet for a 25th Amendment.
Okay.
And have her actually become the 47th president for like a month.
See, that's what would be funny if SNL were still courageous. Like the opening, skit of SNL doing something like that. That would be like old school. We don't give a fuck SNL. They won't do anything like that anymore.
She's like trying to push Joe out a window. She's like shuffling shit around, trying to get him to trip over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everybody who bought like Trump, number 40, 47 kind of merchandise, any 47 theme stuff, it'll have to be changed to 48.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
really
funny.
wants to do it to fuck over Hillary.
All right, before we get out of here, I used to have this theory that remember the whole Hillary with emails thing. I had this conspiracy theory that they'll convict her, right? Go ahead and convict her, sentence her, and then have Obama, like on his last week in office, like pardon her. That way,
Well,
Trump or whoever couldn't
the
go
Hunter
after her.
pardons are coming, of course, and he's going to preemptively pardon his brother.
Yeah.
As well.
Yep. All right.
So those are coming.
Yep. We're getting out of here, guys. See you next week. See you Friday afternoon in the United States.
That's what the question in this campaign is about. It's not only what's your philosophy and what's your position on issues, but can you get things done? And I believe I can.
Is that legal?
I will make it legal.
Where do you get this bureaucratic bull?
You have all the character references of a politician.
Intelligence has nothing to do with politics.
This president is not above the law.
If the dirty air don't get you, the politicians will.
The last remnants of the old republic have been swept away.
These orders have forced us to declare independence.